One, enforcing the policy that prohibits the department and its employees from publicly discussing the conduct of uncharged individuals.
Yes, that's part of our remedial action and response.
Remedial.
And will you also commit to enforcing the Department of Justice policy that explicitly prohibits the department and its employees from taking investigative steps that could impact an election?
Well, I think we would follow department policy on that.
Yes, like you did. You know, I got to tell you, the more I watch this makes Watergate really look macabre. In those days, we had professional politicians, not like these clowns today that are all so well paid that, you know, they're hacks. I mean, they've always been scum. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the days of Watergate, most of them were scum. But these people today are professional scumbags. Like little Miss Sweetums here, thanking Mr. Free, or whatever his name is, for his, whatever this douche's name is, the latest douche of the month with the FBI. Thanking him for his service. What, does he get paid? Who thanks you people out there in La La Land for your service? I don't give a shit if you clean toilets or brain surgeon. You get paid, shut the frig up, do your job. You shouldn't want accolades, especially from strangers or insincere whore politicians like this retarded woman. I want to thank you for your service and everybody at the FBI that's so wonderful. Oh, everybody rides unicorns. Everybody's great. There is no monolith in humanity. No two people are alike in a family. The idea that you wear a uniform does not make you special. It makes you someone in a uniform who gets paid to be in a uniform. And I don't care if you're a postal worker or an FBI agent. If you think you need to be thanked that much, you're in the wrong line of business. But I resent the patronage. It's patronizing to the point of absolute intolerance. And that brings me to this bigger point. The reason for all this is 9/11. We started calling cops heroes. Firemen heroes. Didn't matter, they were filling up fire engines with pilfered clothing from underneath the mall under the trains when the buildings collapsed. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. But let me quote one emergency worker for the New York City Police Department, 14 years, and now he has 190 people under him at Homeland Security. There was so much stealing going on that a good portion of them firemen died because they weren't doing the right thing. But you don't hear anyone talk about it. But since that day, the veneration of degenerates, I'm not saying they were all degenerates. Every one of them rescue workers were heroes. 58 of them, and they knew they weren't coming out of there alive. They weren't stealing. They went to their posts, and they died doing what they were supposed to do, unfortunately, because they were sent to their death by idiots. Irresponsible idiots. And ever since then, out of government guilt, just absolute deification of anybody in a uniform. You're a first responder. You're a cop. You walk on water. You're not a cop. You walk on water. You're a first responder. You're a hero. Enough of this bullshit. And that's where we are today. These self-entitled know-it-alls. Cops in the FBI deciding for us who should be our president. Could you imagine the arrogance? Let me tell you something. If a brain surgeon said that in front of me, I'd knock him the fuck out. Okay? But coming from a cop, an FBI agent, I got to tell you, Fast and Furious, Waco, Ruby Ridge, the Brinks killings where the FBI didn't inform any of the local PDs, including the New York State Police, and I know this firsthand. And all of them are suspect now. I never would have believed this, but I got to believe if the government wasn't complicit in 9/11, the real tragedy and conspiracy is how they've profited off of it. On our necks. And now they threaten our very republic.
Lisa Page, God, Trump is an loathsome human. 3316, Peter Strzok. Oh my God, Trump is an idiot. 3316, Lisa Page. Also, did you hear Trump made a comment about the size of his, I'm not going to use the word, it rhymes with wang doodle.
And of course, he never did say
The
that.
size of his D earlier. This man cannot be president.
Imagine that. See, because it's what you say. It's okay if you sneak out under blankets hundreds of times as president, and I'm talking about Bill Clinton. Secret Service sneaking you around to go get whores. But if you talk like a whore, that's a problem.
Middle class, uneducated, lazy pieces of S that think he will magically grant them jobs for doing nothing.
You hear that?
Probably didn't watch the debates, aren't fully educated on his policies.
Hear that? We're uneducated.
Up in his unmerited enthusiasm.
Now, let's look 16 months into his presidency. Were we wrong or was the FBI wrong? Did Trump do every single thing we knew he would do? And is our economy humming at unprecedented levels? Unemployment lower than it's ever been in recorded history? And we knew it. But these self-entitled, apparatchik, Bolshevik know-it-alls. See, because let me tell you something, people, they got rich since 9/11. Go look at their pensions and their pay. Go look at the police departments all throughout the Northeast that get paid like brain surgeons. The biggest scam ever perpetuated on a republic. And now the evidence is manifest and replete. And they threaten our very republic for their perks. I've been saying this for years. Drug interdiction, search and seizure laws. You want to talk about throwing out the baby with the bathwater? Water, I never drank. Never did. Never did a drug. But I never understood why it's okay for some degenerate like this putz who drinks and some kid that's smoking dope. I never saw the difference. If you want to take in a toxin, put your brain on poison. That's what it means, intoxicate. You eat a poison, whether it's mushrooms or whiskey, and you destroy your brain. And I've said it forever. I want none of the opinions from people who drink or do drugs, ever. You volunteer to become insane, the last thing you better do is drop your opinion at my feet. Because again, I'll deck you. I don't want to hear it. But it gave these scumbags the right to take your property, to seize your car. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So in lieu of the criminals, they've decided they can interdict themselves into our lives. And you're going to tell me you would trust your fate with half of these cops? You've heard what they said. You're going to tell me that you wouldn't believe in a minute they'd throw evidence in your car to hang you? Because I do. I don't trust any of them. I don't want them in my house. I don't want them in my car. I avoid them like the criminals they've become. And if it offends you too effing bad, you've earned it. You've earned it. Wear those laurels, wear that mantle, and wear that crown, baby, because you deserve it. Like the $713,000 a year, 58-year-old retired Westbury chief of police, old Westbury chief of police. $713,000 a year. That's his retirement. That's not stealing. That's not a criminal. Go to Orangetown, New York, Clarkstown, New York, almost any town in Long Island and Westchester, and go see what these hoods make. And that's not enough. So to pad their pensions, they got to get overtime. That means they're putting a bounty on us for seat belts. You know, hey, don't you think you ought to click a ticket over here? What's the matter? Don't you need protection? That's what the mob does. They're thugs. Thuggery. That's what it's become. Steal, cheat, lie. Rinse, repeat. It's so unbelievably disgusting. I mean, I can't even believe what I'm listening to. And then they have the balls to just simply create narratives. Who's qualified to be a president? Because they're cops. These jerk-offs that cheat on each other's wives. You should see, I know what I'm talking about. I know neighborhoods where the FBI guy's doing a CIA guy's wife. It's like federal tennis. When they're not playing street hockey. They're fornicating with each other's wives. When they're not watching porno on their computers at their offices. I'm talking about FBI agents. They didn't know what to do about it. And they became celebrities after 9/11. So now they have to have laws. They're going to create new rules. You can't go on the media without our permission. You've seen my YouTubes about this. 21-year-old looking like the little skippies going on. Author, retired FBI agent. They're like 25 years old. They're retired. They've written multiple books. Who do you see that in the private sector without any gray hair? And then the political hacks that toe the line. They don't care about the truth. They're going to toe the line. They want to thank the FBI guy. You imagine? I don't care if you're right-wing, left-wing. If you're not outraged by this, you don't deserve your office. And let me warn you, liberals, this is going to come back on you. You mark my words. Because eventually the worm turns